If you've been using ChatGPT or Claude for the past 3 months and you haven't made a dime yet, it is not your fault because it's completely overwhelming trying to listen to all the experts. They're telling you to create a faceless YouTube channel, vibe code, duplicate someone's AI Shopify dropshipping site, build a course, or even create your own AI consulting agency. And if you tried even a few of them, I'm betting that not a single one has worked. But in this video, all that changes. Because I'm not going to give you a dozen different unproven methods to try out. I'm going to give you one specific way to make money using AI and the exact steps to do it. And here's the proof. A few weeks ago, I asked ChatGPT to help me make as much money as possible using what it already knew about me and things I already had. And it remembered an old flashlight product that I'd never really sold. And it told me not only why I should try selling it again, but exactly how to sell it. And it even told me it could do it for me. So I let AI build the page, launch the offer, and in 33 hours, it brought in $1,900.60, all from a single case of flashlights that I'd basically just written off. And the crazy part is, once I realized what it did for me, I realized that it could do it for anyone, even if you don't have a case of flashlights laying around or any product to sell. That's what this video is really about, how to use AI to build a killer landing page that sells anything, something of your own, or something for someone else that's willing to pay you for it. And by the end of this video, you're gonna have a skill that some companies will pay dearly for. And I know that because I paid a lot of money for it myself. Now, real quick, if you haven't met me before, my name's Mike McClary, and I've taught over 39,000 people how to build their own brands and businesses. And while I've sold millions myself, our students have generated over $2.4 billion with their own businesses. Those are their numbers, not mine. And that's what I'm most proud of. Now, I've also developed multiple AI software tools. I teach and consult for businesses, both big and small, and I still run my own outdoor gear store, selling on Amazon and Shopify. So I'm not just someone who's teaching from the sidelines. I'm using AI inside real businesses with real products, real customers, and getting real sales. And what I'm going to teach you today is not theory. You're going to learn how to find some of the best landing pages used by some of the biggest consumer brands in the world. Then you'll learn how to use Claude or ChatGPT to copy those landing pages for your product or for anyone's product. Then you'll learn how to create stunning product images, all using AI. And finally, you're going to learn how to have AI install that new landing page on any Shopify website. And I don't know of anyone teaching people how to do this the way that I am, so stick around and you're going to end up with a cash-making AI skill that few people even know about. So here's how this started. A few weeks ago, I'm doing some research on YouTube, and I kept seeing all of these videos about how to make money with AI, how to make 1,000, how to make 10,000, even how to make 3 million using AI. And honestly, I got tired of it. Not because making money with AI is fake. It's not fake at all. But because most of the videos were either way too vague, they were way too random, or they're way too disconnected from how real businesses actually make money. So I gave myself a challenge. Could I use AI to come up with a way to make $1,000 on a weekend? And could I prove it to myself by actually doing it? So I opened up ChatGPT and asked it to help me make as much money as possible this weekend. And after one of the longest conversations that I've ever had with any AI, it kept coming back to the exact same thing. Create a killer landing page for one of my old products. A product that I had bought 2.5 years ago and I never even tried to sell because I thought it'd be too expensive. But as I told you earlier, that landing page worked. And I sold out of every single one of those flashlights and made nearly $2,000 in 33 hours. And then I realized that anyone who had this skill, whether you had a product or not, could make a killing with it using AI. And that AI money-making skill that you're going to learn is how to create one cash-producing page, a landing page. Not an entire website, not a beautiful homepage, not an about page, not a blog. Just one page, one product, one offer, and one goal: to sell. That's the entire goal. And people pay big money for this because businesses do not need another pretty website. They need pages that make people understand the product, want the product, trust the offer, and click the button. That is a valuable skill. And AI gives you the ability to build that faster and easier than ever before. So let me switch over to my computer so we can actually do this. So the first thing we want to do is go find some landing pages that are working for some of the biggest brands in the world. Because chances are, if they're working for them, they'll work for us. We're not going to copy them directly. We're going to use them for inspiration. So we go to the meta ads library. This is where every single ad by every brand that's ever run shows up. And you can look at them, you can look at the ads, you can look at their landing pages. So we're going to simply go to the ad library. We're going to select all ads and then type in whatever type of product that you're selling. So if I'm selling flashlights, I can just type in flashlights and hit enter. And then it's going to pull in all types of flashlight related ads. And I can also look for specific brands. So if I know a brand that I want to emulate, then I can type them in as well. But for now, let's just look at the ads that come up. So these are, looks like Turtle Creek Gear. I've never heard of them before. This does look like a flashlight. And one thing that I like to do is I want to make sure that we're looking at ads that have been running for a while, at least 2 or 3 months. So when I go to filters, you have a date range at the bottom. We'll leave all these the way that it is up here. But you'll notice this is going all the way from 2019 up through today. Too long of a time period. Let's just make it something that an ad has run in the past 3 or 4 months. So I'm going to type in 212026. And we'll leave the last date as today and click on apply. And that's going to pull in the ads that have been running for a while, and it's going to sort them by the most impressions, because the ads that get the most impressions are typically the ads that these brands are spending the most money on. And the more money they spend, the more you know they're working. So we still see this Turtle Creek Gear ad. Looks like it was started in August of 2025, so almost a year ago. We know that ad must be working, otherwise they wouldn't be spending money on it. And we only need to find 3 to 5 ads. So let's start with this one. All you need to do is click on the shop now. And so I can see it's already a pretty good looking page. It's got a nice video at the top and then all types of good images about their product. And so if this is working for them, they're sending lots of traffic to it. All we need to do is copy the URL and then go find another example. So I'm going to go back to the ad library. You'll notice some of these don't have the button. What that means is that they're actually running multiple ads for the same thing. And so this one started in April of this year, so still a couple months ago. And it is a holster and a laser strike system. So not exactly what I want. I'm looking for flashlights. Here's one, Woobin Light Worldwide. I know them. They're a really good brand. This ad has been running since October 2025. Again, running for a long time. I don't see a shop now button or learn more. So if you click on summary details, you'll see that they have several versions of this ad running, which is great. Another sign that it's working. So I can take any one of these buttons. Let's start with this shop now. Let's see where it takes us. All right, so it takes us to this page. Looks kind of like a product page instead of a landing page, but let's go take a look. No, again, they have a nice video on this page, lots of good images, lots of good details about their product. So again, a really nice landing page, but it doesn't matter whether it's nice, it matters whether it's working. And again, they're spending money on this, so it must be working for them. So I'm going to copy this page as well, and then let's go find one more as an example. Again, these are all Woobin, so I'm going to close out of here. And I want to look for a few companies that I know that are really good in the flashlight space. So I'm just going to start typing in flashlights, and you'll see that they start coming up below. Down here, Inolent, that's a really nice company. They make some of the brightest flashlights in the world, so I'm going to pull them up here. And then I'm going to look at some of the ads that are running the longest. This one's only been running since May, so I'm not going to look at that one. But these other ones, February, January, this one's been running for a long time. So let's click on the Learn More. And wow, a $675 flashlight, even more expensive than mine. Let's go take a quick look at this. Again, another video. There's a theme here. A video seems to be the first thing they're putting on their pages after the actual ability to buy the product. And then some great images, everything. So I have 3 really good examples. So I'm simply going to copy the links to these pages, and then I'm going to move on to the next step. Now, normally, we'd have to go through a ton of analysis on this page to really understand what makes it work. What type of headlines is it using? What type of images is it using? What type of copy? What's the tone? What's the voice? What's the marketing framework they're using to put people into the right mode that they want to buy? But luckily, we don't have to do any of that because we're going to use AI to do all of that for us. All we need to do is to tell AI who to be. And what I'm going to do is tell it to be an expert landing page strategist. And you'll see I have a prompt right here on the screen, and this is super long, so you can copy it from me. Just look in the description below, and I'll show you exactly how to get a copy completely for free. But all you'll need to do is copy and paste this along with a few details. You'll notice the 4 things that we need to give it is what product are you selling? So is it your product or someone else's you're creating this page for? The offer details, what are you willing to sell it for? Also, if you have brand details, you have a brand tone, certain brand colors you want to use, font, whatever. You can tell those things, you don't have to. And then the sample landing pages that we found. So what I'm going to do is copy all of this. We're going to go over to ChatGPT. We're going to paste that into it. And then I have my details I'm going to copy over here as well. I'm just going to put them at the bottom. So I'm going to give it a different flashlight of mine for the offer. I'm going to say it can be 1 for 20% off, 2 for 30, and then 4 for 50% off. Heck, if they buy that many, that's awesome. I'm only shipping one in one package, right? And then I'll use the same brand details as on my website. And then here are those 3 examples that we found. And all we need to do now is click submit. Now, this part is going to take a while. You can watch it work. It's kind of interesting to see all the thought processes that it goes through, but all you need to do is just let it cook. So I'm going to come back in a few moments. All right, so it's finally done. And these can take a while. AI is super fast. I mean, it may seem like a long time, probably took 3 or 4 minutes, but think about how long it really takes a world-class developer to create these kinds of pages. So it's done. Let's go take a look and see how it did. You'll notice that you can just click on the full screen button here. I'm going to open it up right now. And there is my landing page. And already I can tell the colors kind of match up to my site. I wanted that. You don't have to do that at all. But this looks like a really nice looking page. Now, one thing I want to point out that's very important, and this is already in the prompt that you get, you'll notice there are no images on this landing page, and that is by design. AI can do a lot, but sometimes it can get overwhelmed. And so if I had it create all of our images while it's creating the landing page, it would get overwhelmed and probably do neither one of those jobs very well. So I intentionally told it in the prompt that you get to only create placeholders and put them in the exact location and size where they're going to go. So that's exactly what I wanted to do. And this way, after the step, we'll get to creating the images. But you'll want to scroll down and just take a look at the page and make sure that it looks good. And one thing to keep in mind is it will not be perfect the first time. This is where you have to put a little bit of your own creative input into this, and you'll want to check everything. Make sure all the buttons work, make sure that the headlines look good. And already one thing that I can see is that this little pill right here that says preparedness without overthinking, I couldn't even tell until I highlighted it. You really can't see it. It's just too light. Now, I'm going to scroll down and make sure everything else is accurate as well. Now, I like down here that it's telling me exactly what types of images to put in here. I want it to also give me the aspect ratio. So when I go create these images later, I know what those are. So that's one thing I'm going to tell it to do. And then I'm just going to go through and read everything else. I'm going to see if these buttons kind of work. That's nice. Even inside of ChatGPT, and you can use Claude for this, the buttons work and take you down to the order section here. Now you can't buy yet because I installed this on the Shopify site, but so far everything looks awesome. And I really like how out of the 3 options I'm giving it, the customer to buy, it's naturally guiding them and highlighting the most expensive option, which is a great deal for them and also helps me increasing my average order value. So your step is to go through and review it and then give AI another prompt with some feedback for things you want to change. And so what I'm going to tell it is to make sure that the pill boxes have better contrast so you can read what's in them. And I'm also going to tell it to give me the dimensions of what's inside of each of the images. But other than that, everything else looks awesome. This is great for a first shot. And I think after 2 shots, just one more, it's going to look awesome. So let me go tell it what I want it to do. All right, so it's done. Didn't take nearly as long that time. And already from the short little picture I can see here, it made the changes. But let's go expand it so I can really see it. So it already fixed the little pill boxes. That's much better, much easier to read. And it's also giving me the image specs that I needed. I have the size, I see the aspect ratio, and I also have a description that in the next phase, I can put right into our ChatGPT or whatever you're using to create images in order to get really good product images. But I'm going to go through and just kind of read through, make sure everything looks good again. This pill box did not get updated, so I'm going to tell it to fix that one as well. Doesn't look like all the pill boxes got updated. And again, sometimes this might happen, might take 2 or 3 shots. But I'm going to go back and make sure there's nothing else in there. And looks like it. Let's give it one more shot and let's have it update that. All right, so I just told it that the light colored pillboxes still needed better contrast, and it immediately saw the issue. It agreed with me, and it's going through right now, and it is actually making the updates, and it is done. So let's open it up one more time just to give it another look. Everything looks good here. There we go. These look much, much better now. This is a really sharp looking landing page. I love the colors, how it goes from light to dark. Everything else is looking really, really good here. I have all the images. And once I'm done down at the bottom, all right, we are done. This is an awesome looking landing page. So now what I want to do is save this. So I can just click this download button. It's going to download the code file. Don't worry about that. Just save it on your computer because we're going to use it in the next step. And the next step is going to be creating images. So let me show you how to do that. All right, now for the product photography part, we're going to need three things. We're going to need the prompts and descriptions that we already asked AI to give us on the landing page. And like, here's the first one up here at the top. And you'll see all of them have the actual descriptions. That's exactly what we need to know. Then we're also going to need a really good product photography prompt. And I'm giving you one again. Down in the description, you'll find a way to download it completely for free. And then you're going to need a picture of your product. And what I like to do is actually have two pictures, especially if these products are being used by people. AI sometimes gets the sizing wrong or the way they hold it wrong. So I come up with one picture just of the product as clear as can be, and then a picture of it in use. And that's just me holding this small flashlight so it doesn't think this one that I'm using is a huge one. So what we're going to do is we are going to copy this entire prompt. I'm going to paste it over into ChatGPT, and then I'm going to give it the description down here. So it knows the aspect ratio, what it's being used for, and then a description of it as well. And then I'm going to paste it just at the bottom. Here are the details you need. All right, and then I am going to click Send Prompt. All right, it's done. Let's go take a look. It actually created two images for me. It gave me a landscape one, which is what I needed, and it also created a square image as well, which is awesome. And these look exactly like my flashlight. So I'm going to download both of these, and then you just keep going through all the other images on your landing page and saving them into a folder. And if you have to give it some prompts to make it correct things, that's totally normal as well. AI doesn't always get the images right. Sometimes it makes them look too big, too small, just look weird. Whatever the problem is, just describe it down in the edits and have it correct it until it's right. And then when you're done, you'll have a folder of great product photography to put right into your landing page. And now we're at the part that used to feel scary, getting the page actually installed on Shopify so it can sell the product. Because a landing page inside a ChatGPT is cool, but a landing page installed on your Shopify store, connected to your product, your cart, your discounts, and your checkout, that's where it becomes real. And this is the part that used to require a Shopify developer, or at least someone who knows enough to be really dangerous. But now with Codex or Claude Code, especially if you have the browser control or the Chrome skill enabled, AI can walk you through the entire process. You still need to pay attention, you still need to approve things, you still need to protect your passwords and secrets, but you don't need to already know how to be a Shopify developer. That's the crazy unlock here. So the first step is to download and install either Codex or Claude Code Desktop. Now, I'm not going to go through every tiny technical step in this video because it could easily be an entire full tutorial on its own. But I'm giving you the full guide that you can download below, attach it to Codex, and basically say, walk me through this process step by step. The guide tells Codex what to do, what not to do, how to keep your store safe, how to set up the right access, how to install things the right way. So what I'm going to do here is show you the high-level process so you understand what's happening before you let AI do it. So here are the main things you need to understand. There are two different types of Shopify access that Codex needs. The first one is called theme access. And this is what gives Shopify or Codex access to your Shopify theme files. That means things like the landing page section, your CSS, your JavaScript, your page template, basically the actual code that makes the page look and behave the way that it should. The second one is a Shopify development app. That gives Codex the API access to your stored data. That means things like your products, your variants, your prices, your discounts, your Shopify pages, your Shopify files, and the things needed to connect this landing page to the actual product that you're selling. So the simple version of this, theme access lets Codex install the page, and then the development app lets Codex connect the page to your store. And you need both. So first you go into your Shopify store and install Shopify's theme access. It is completely free from Shopify. And this is what's going to give Codex permission to safely work on your theme files. Now, the important thing is that installing it isn't enough. You also need to create a theme access password. And that password is what Codex uses locally on your computer to push the landing page files into Shopify. Now, you don't want to just paste the password it gives you and emails to you into some random public chat. You don't want it showing up in screenshots. You don't want it on YouTube or in the comments. So you want Codex to have it and to help save it locally in a very private file called a .env file. That way, the tool can use it, but you're not exposing it anywhere. And if you're using Codex with Chrome access, it can actually open Shopify with you, guide you through the entire theme access setup, and show you where to click. You may still have to approve things yourself, and you may still have to copy a one-time password yourself, but Codex can walk you through it and help save it to your computer. So let it. Next, we need to create the Shopify development app. And this is the part that gives Codex API access. And again, that sounds more intimidating than it really is. You're basically creating a private app for your own Codex store. So Codex can do things like find your product, get the right variant ID, upload images to Shopify files, create the Shopify page, set metadata, and then work with discounts if needed. Inside the Shopify dev dashboard, so you can do this, and then inside of this Shopify dev dashboard, you'll create the app, create a version, choose the admin API scopes you need, release the version, and install it on your store. Now, if all that sounds scary and sounds like goblin language, that's okay. That's exactly why I'm giving you the guide. And the guide's going to tell Codex to walk you through this. And if Codex has Chrome access, it can literally open the dashboard and guide you through each step. But one big thing is this, only give it access to what it actually needs. So for a landing page, that usually means access to products, your files, pages, discounts, and your theme related data. It doesn't need your customer data, doesn't need your orders, doesn't need your payment information. So don't give it access to everything. Just let Codex follow the guide and keep it limited to what this job actually requires. Now, that's the actually hardest part because now Codex can get to the real work. And this is where it gets pretty amazing. It can take the landing page that we created, the images we generated, convert the page into real Shopify theme files, upload the images to Shopify files, create a custom page template, wire the buttons to the actual Shopify product, make sure the right variant is being added to the cart, apply the discount or offer if there is one, and then push only the files it needs into your Shopify theme. And that last part's important. We don't want Codex pushing your entire theme. We don't want it changing your entire store. We want it creating a standalone landing page. That way, your homepage stays the same, your product pages stay the same, your cart stays the same, and this one landing page that we created looks exactly like the design we created. And that's the goal. All right, so once I've got the landing page files, the images, the product info, and Shopify access already, this is where I go to Codex and I give it the handout. I attach the guide that I'm giving you. And I say something like this. I want you to help me install this AI-generated landing page on my Shopify store. Use the attached guide, use Chrome if available. Walk me through theme access, the Shopify development app, and the admin API setup. Do not expose secrets. Install the page as real Shopify theme files. Upload the images to the Shopify files. Wire the buttons to the correct product and checkout flow. Push only the intended files. Then verify the page on desktop and mobile. And then we're going to let Codex work through it. But when I do this, don't just disappear. I watch what it's doing. The first time you do this, you really want to pay attention because this is your store and AI can do the technical work, but you're still the owner. Now, since I already have theme access and the development app installed, I'm going to take those parts out right here. And then I'm going to click this up arrow and tell it to get to work. Now, this is going to take a while, like I said, and just kind of sit back and let it cook. Now, once Codex is done, you might notice that it's going to go ahead and start testing your page for you. So if I go look at it right now, This is the page, and you can see that Codex is actually reviewing the page for me right now to make sure everything looks good. I am not touching a single thing. But because of the prompt that I gave you and the instructions that I gave it to make sure everything looks great, I know that it's going to go in there and do the QA for me. Now, you still need to do the QA. You need to make sure that the images look right, the copy looks right, all of the add to cart buttons work correctly, the discounts work well as well. And you can see it's checking out the images right now. So at the end of the day, you still own responsibility for this. But you now have a full-time Shopify development expert, along with the landing page professional designers that we came up with and professional photographers as well, all working as part of your team. And right now, Codex is installing and queuing the landing page that it created for me 100% using AI. This is kind of crazy. Now, when I go back into Codex and check it out, I see that it actually found a few issues and it's already fixing them. I haven't even completed my own QA yet, but it did. And it found a couple things that needed to be fixed. It went ahead and started fixing them, and it's making the changes and pushing them live again. But now it's completely done, and it's my job to go through and check out and make sure that everything's working. Do the buttons take me down to the call to action? Can I add products to my cart? Let's give it a shot. And that works perfectly. And then I can go through and check out all the other buttons, all the images as well, and make sure that everything looks and works exactly as it should. AI can now help you go from idea to page to images to a live Shopify sales page. That is incredibly powerful. Now, at this point, you might be saying, okay, Mike, great for you. You have a product. What if I don't? Well, that's the best part. You don't need your own product to build this skill. You can do this for someone else's product. You can do this for any product. Find a company already selling something online. Look at their ads. Look at their landing pages. Then ask one simple question. Does this page convince me to want to buy? If the answer is no, create a better one. Use the exact same process. Find the product, find similar landing pages, and then build a better page. Create a sample, and then send it to the business. You're not offering to rebuild their entire website. That's a big, scary project. You're offering to build one page. Because if that page helps sell a product, it is not just the design, it's cash. And cash is what every company wants. And if companies already have their own landing pages, then even start with that. Just ask Claude or ChatGPT the following. Find ways the product landing page can be improved. Focus on positioning, offer clarity, headline strength, proof, objectives, urgency, product images, call to action flow, and reasons the customers should buy right now. Then build a sample. Send it to the business. And instead of saying, hey, I build websites, you can say, hey, I saw your landing page for this product and I built you a better one. If you're interested, let me know. That's a much better pitch because you're not selling a website. You're selling a better chance at sales. So here's the process. You start with a real product, yours or a client's, or a product you're using just for practice. Then use Facebook Ads Library to find examples from companies selling similar products. Have AI create the landing page with image placeholders. Then review it and ask AI to improve it. Create the images separately. Then use Codex or Claude Code to install it on Shopify as a standalone page connected to the real product cart, discounts, and checkout. That's a real AI money-making skill. Not because AI magically does everything for you, but because AI gives one person the leverage of a copywriter, a designer, an image creator, developer, conversion strategist, and everything that you need if you know how to aim it. And once you know how to aim it at one thing that can actually make money, everything changes. So I hope you got a lot out of this video today. If you did, I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. And if you want me to create more like this, please give me a like and maybe a follow. I love making these videos and would really love to hear things that you think might be useful to you. So take care, and I hope to see you in the next video or maybe even at a live event someday.